Hello, welcome to Skinny Dipping Soap Shop. I'm Clara, and today I'm going to show you how to make your own molds. We have some items here that I made from a candy mold. If you choose, you can make an item. I made this out of clay. You do the clay item and then bake it. These items were done in a candy mold. If you're going to use a candy mold, you want to oil it just a little bit of cooking oil. Lightly oil the item, make sure it gets into all of the cracks and grooves. Fill it with plaster. Before the plaster sets, put a toothpick in it so you can use the toothpick as a handle to pull the item out. These items, before I use them, I sprayed about 3 layers of clear glaze on them. That helps them, it helps seal them, and then the silicone is less likely to stick to them. So we have our items. To begin your mold, the first thing we're going to do is make a little cardboard box. Just use some thin cardboard. My molds are all for soap embeds, so they're not very big. I don't need anything big. If you're going to need something bigger, you might want to use heavier cardboard. I'm going to begin by making my lines. And then determine the height of my items. I'm going to put my boot and the hat together. The hat is a ½ inch thick, and I need it to be an additional quarter of an inch. So I'm going to go 3/4 of an inch for what will be the side, and then we need 1/4 of an inch perimeter. That's going to be our fold. So I use the back of a knife to score the line and then put in a dotted line to indicate my perimeter area. Same thing on this side. We want 3/4 of an inch plus our 1/4 of an inch. Okay, I'm going to place the boot between the dotted lines that indicate my perimeter space, and then the hat's going to go about there. Depending on the size of your items will indicate how much spacing between your items. If your items are smaller, you can put them closer together, but the hat being this tall, I'm going to want at least 1/4 of an inch between my items. So then I'm going to mark it here and here to indicate my working area. Didn't do that. now that we have our box drawn, I'm going to use some clear packing tape. Yep. Try not to get any wrinkles in your packing tape. It will make a wrinkle in your mold. Cut out your box. Cut out the corners between your score lines. Fold the box on the score lines. Then I'm going to use some brown tape to hold it together. Put the brown tape on the bottom of the box along the corner. Fold up the sides. Put the tape up against the sides and then push it together to seal the corner. That corner didn't seal very well, so I'm going to put some more tape over the edge of it. Seal it tighter. Continue all the way around your box. You want to be sure that the box is properly sealed so your silicone won't leak out. No, I'm not throwing stuff on my floor. I've got a trash can right there. It's very handy when you have your trash can right where you need it. Okay, so we've got our basic box ready for our boot and our hat. I'm going to put some glue on the back of the item. You don't want to use a lot of glue because it'll leak out around the edge and then you'll have a mess. The item. Using the glue serves two purposes. It'll hold the item in place while the silicone dries. And if you seal it down well, it'll keep the silicone from running underneath of it. You'll have less cleanup when you unmold your item. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with the ghost and the skull. I was getting ready to glue down the ghost and the skull, and I realized I forgot to share important information. When you're working with an item that you created yourself, you need to get some sandpaper and smooth the bottom of the item. I already did it with the ones that I'm using. So you want to make sure that the bottom is smooth and then wipe it off of any dust before you put your glue on it. When I placed the skull, it slipped a little bit and a little bit of glue came out of the side. That'll make a bump in your mold. So clean your brush and just gently wipe it away. Okay, we're going to let the glue dry and then we'll do silicone. For best results, it's best if you let your item sit for 24 hours for the glue to dry. We're not doing that today. We're just going to continue filling up our mold. You need a scale. This is the brand of silicone mold that I'm using. You mix equal portions, part A and part B. Measure carefully. Be sure to mix well. I mix mine for a full 3 minutes. Now that the silicone is mixed up, I'm going to add a little yellow coloring to it. You don't have to. I like to put coloring in it just to make it look nice. When you fill the molds, the weight of the silicone will push the cardboard edging out and give it kind of a rounded appearance. To avoid that, I've taped some popsicle sticks on the side of my mold box. You can get the popsicle sticks at craft stores, Dollar Tree, Family Dollar. They're usually about $1.50 for 100, and then cut them to the size you need. Pour your silicone into your mold. Sometimes I'll make a mold and it doesn't work out well, so I cut it up, use the scraps. It is acceptable to use scraps in your silicone. It's expensive, you paid for it, get your money's worth. The problem with using silicone scraps, they will float to the top and make the bottom of your mold lumpy. Okay. Because the scraps will rise to the top and they'll make the bottom bumpy. So I'm not going to finish filling in the molds right now. I'm going to let them sit a couple of hours, mix up just a little more silicone to fill in the molds, and then let them sit and unmold them after 6 hours. I let the molds sit for a couple of hours, mixed up a little more silicone, and finished filling them in. They've sat overnight and we're ready to open them up, see what we've got. After you take them out of the mold, you're going to need to clean them up just a little bit. I have a little pair of cuticle scissors. Just come along, trim up where you need to trim. I'll finish trimming up that one later. Sometimes they're going to have a little bit of a ridge on the bottom. Just trim that up a little bit. Be sure to wash it up real well. Remove any little particles of silicone that might be in the mold after you've cleaned it up. When you mix silicone, the easiest way to clean up the mess, after you've mixed it, don't bother to wash your container. Just get a paper towel, clean up the outside, and then just grab whatever comes loose, throw it in your scrap pile, and then wipe it real good with a paper towel, and you're good to go for next time. It'll just come right out, and it's a lot easier than trying to clean it up when it's wet. These two molds I'm going to give away to whoever. When you leave comments after watching the video, all the comments are going to receive a number. Numbers will be put in a drawing, and somebody will win those two molds. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please put a question in the comment, make a comment. If you thought this was interesting or if you learned something, please let me know. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you. Have a great day.